Anyway, so let's just kind of wander around. Say your name and what's one activity that that Andy mentions that that is a practice of gratitude, and I'll say one which is town parades.
I was going to say.
What'd you say?
Town parade.
Town parade. Mhm.
I would say harvesting milkweed in Nebraska.
You guys are taking all my,
I know you got to get in
I'm
quick.
sorry, wait a minute.
jump in there.
Was you, for you, that was a part of the practice of gratitude, that harvesting milkweed.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody else.
Grace before meals.
Name the blocks and what's dividing and what can this make possible?
Name the
Uh,
elephant,
sacred
but keep
gratitude
gifts
makes
and
me-
assets.
What?
Sorry,
Go ahead, Larry.
I was cheating by copying Sharon's, but using his word. Name the elephant, but keep gifts and assets at center stage.
Right.
Asking people for lots of money.
Was that I didn't see that in the chapter. Was that in the chapter? You
I didn't either.
Yeah. what did you say?
No, that was in this chapter.
That sounds
Okay,
like that sounds like
It's an
organizing.
absolute, it's just an absolute, you would
Where
drop
was that, Martin?
inescapably from this chapter.
Yeah, well,
All right.
I mean,
so-
you know, just because Andy doesn't mention it directly doesn't mean that he hasn't actually just exactly named it.
All right, so we've got town parades, harvesting milkweed, grace before meals, name the blocks and what's dividing and what's possible, or name the elephant and keep assets at center stage and ask people for lots of money. What else does he point to as an
Having-
activity?
Community
Having-
renewal. Community renewal based on sustainability.
Love,
Yeah.
Having all
he
my
talks
ancestors,
about-
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Having all my ancestors behind me.
Mhm. Think about all those who have loved you into being.
Mm.
the practice I thought
Um,
was love someone into being.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Think of
Uh,
all
the
the
phrase-
thousands, think of all the thousands of people that loved in order for you to be here.
Mhm.
That's practice thinking, yeah.
Being empowered by divine grace, so powerfully at work in them all that these early fellowships made sure that there was enough for everyone. If everyone at all was being left out or left behind, they would take care of them, either through economic activity, selling, or generous giving, sharing.
Wake to the wonder of everything. And he
Mhm.
puts G.K. Chesterton reflecting on, you say grace before meals, but he goes on to say grace before everything.
Yeah.
So I'm
Before
going to
playing,
shift the
before-
question a little bit. I think we already did. What are some of the results or benefits of this practice that does he mention? Like one, it was you develop a worldview
Mm.
Grace-based.
that is grace-based.
Yeah,
What are some other results or benefits he mentioned?
The experience of the sacred.
yeah,
Uh,
the spirit of.
Also, I like the way he says allows you to see the gift of the situation you're in.
Right,
I like that one.
seeing the opportunity and possibility rather than the negative.
Gives
Rhonda,
more-
do you have one?
Reframing our perspectives on power and provision.
Tom? Power and provision.
Yeah,
Speak up. Jim.
Going from lack to bounty.
Man,
Releasing, releasing fear and taking courage and compassion up.
managing stress, building social connections, and discovering possibilities. He likes threes, you know,
Say yours again, Karen. Managing stress.
building social connections and discovering possibilities.
In the face of demoralization, we are re-energized.
That's a whole great litany of things there.
Resilience and
Mhm.
transformation.
What did you say, Luigi?
Resilience. Overcoming
openness to,
tragedy.
oh, sorry. Openness to surprise.
Yeah.
Many of you would know the name John Epps. He wrote a book on the theology of surprise. Later in his life, he was quite fascinated with that phenomenon.
The, I don't know how I say that, it's living without fear. What you do is not fear-based, with a sense of gratitude.
Being energized.
The power, did somebody say in the face of brokenness, the power to heal?
Okay, I'm going to switch the question again. And I'm clicking away trying to take notes. I don't know. I'm trying to take notes, I think, because I thought it'd be cool to take notes, but it's going too fast for me to really do it. Anyway, so what are some of the traps or challenges he mentions in practicing, in using or performing the practice of gratitude? Sharon?
I think his story about it's my town and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, some can turn that into this is my town and you stay out. And I'm not open to new things in this town because I'm fearful. So just being, I guess it's on that cusp of gratitude and pride or something that he points out as a trap.
And he also talks about the difference between gratitude in all situations, not for all situations. And people can use that as a way to say, well, God did this to you, or you should be thankful or something, but it's.
Yeah.
How is that a trap?
How is that a trap? Because I think God, the mystery, however you talk about it, does not necessarily will that certain things that happen to us. It's part of life, but you can't blame it on God.
Yeah, the trap is that we would blame God for it if we were grateful for the evil that was being done.
He even says there's evil, there's
Right.
other
He
powers
makes
out there.
that distinction. Yeah, he makes that distinction that be grateful in times of trial or tribulation doesn't necessarily mean God sent this upon you, or
So
that
that would
God
apply
did.
the opposite, right?
Pardon?
Would that apply to the opposite? Something good happens and you're praising God for sending it to you?
That's possible.
I don't agree with Andy. I blame God for everything.
You blame God for okay.
Other traps are
The good, the
challenges.
bad, and the indifference.
What's that have to do with gratitude, Martin?
Yeah.
I think a lot. I mean, I just don't know. I have to, if I'm if I'm willing to say that gratitude is about me not taking a breath without God's power, then, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening that couldn't be happening without God's power.
Mm.
Any other traps or challenges?
I think I put, it could paper over serious contradictions. And maybe we've already said it in other ways, but
Yeah.
I put it that way. If you're grateful for everything, that's just a trap you could fall into. You don't see the serious contradiction that has to be faced and addressed.
He used the word denial, I think, at one point.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Where did this, where were you pushed in this chapter?
I was pushed by Martine saying that he blames God for everything. But that wasn't in the chapter, but it came out of it, I guess.
How did that push you?
Well, it's you know, it's just, I guess probably like Ellie said, it's just life is going on and these things happen. I mean, you get hit by a car or whatever. You could blame that on God, blame it on me walking over the street or the driver coming too fast or something. Anyhow, yeah, that kind of thing.
Somebody else, where were you pushed?
I was pushed by the story of the town that discovered the use of milkweed rather than seeing it as a terrible weed, to find that it had beneficial aspects to it, and it could become a profitable item that they used. Where I was pushed was to try and discover situations in my own life where I might see a negative situation and not see the opportunity that was there also.
If there was no milkweed, there'd be no monarch butterflies, for God's sake.
That's right.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, you know, I want my butterflies.
They set aside a certain amount of milkweeds not to be processed for the monarch butterfly. That's true.
Yeah.
So that same section, he calls it gratitude as leadership. And as you asked the question, I said to myself, you know, leadership, I don't think of affirming a situation necessarily as being a leader. And so I was struck by, yes, that's what we're called to do. I find that as I work with ICA staff on a daily basis, that I'm trying to bring affirmation. I'm trying to bring gratitude all the time. And I didn't think of it as being leadership.
I was pushed, it's subtle, but the business about structured practice of grace before meals and grace in every moment, therefore, but just that practice can produce a spontaneity that gratitude thrives in. And that's not been something that we've done in my family of late, and I'm just realizing that that's a good point.
Anything else from the chapter that caught your attention you'd like to mention?
The thing about developing robust gratitude practices in the face of climate disruption.
Mhm.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. Is so
Yeah.
great.
I think gratitude being based in creation. He mentions it sort of tangentially, and this is sort of on top of the Thanksgiving with the Indigenous Thanksgiving address, where basically your foundation of gratitude is for the gifts of creation, that, you know, without any of that, you wouldn't have anything. And
Mhm.
so, and then tying that in with the Greensburg situation where it was rebuilt on sustainability, I think what's living and working in the Ferguson area, where they're still struggling with a lot of stuff, but they've gone a long way. But I think, you know, what would happen if we could rebuild that community, not only on, I don't think there'll be racial harmony until we can really reconnect with the earth and really reconnect with that sense of gratitude and trying to connect a community or build a community that's sustainable.
Mm.
And that's sort of what we're trying to do.